Welcome to HillDreamsTN.com. Yes, I know I'm cutting myself off at the nose. Not to spite my nose. Just that way I don't have to be sitting here and moving the tablet while I'm trying to record. Most of what I'm going to be doing today is down here. So, this is going to be an educational video. As always, please like, subscribe, share, leave a comment. Apparently it's what everybody on YouTube says to help the algorithm. Algorithm. And let's try to fix it for my hands. Okay, I think that looks a little better. Hope I'm not too off for you guys. We're going to be talking about knife sharpening today. It's going to come up sooner or later. We are a working farm. What we raise here, we eat here. We're going to be dispatching some turkeys soon, and it's always important to make sure the tools are ready before you start the job. I've done enough things around here where I start something, it's like, oh, go running over there to get whatever I need, and then, ooh, sidetrack, run over there, and then it takes me 2 days to get back to what I was originally doing. So we're going to be talking about sharpening the various knives that we use when we process, and there's a few others. We rotate in and out depending on what critter and all, but what you want on your blade is a smooth edge, and none of these are dull, which is good news, but we do have some nicks. And if you see that light reflecting right where my thumb is, that is where the steel has been bent a little, and that means the knife isn't going to cut as well, and that's what we're going to talk about fixing today. So real quick on the knife sharpening side of things, we have a whetstone, which if you were around back in the 1900s, that's me, when you were in Scouts, we had a whetstone, and this is actually, you can see by the two different colors, a two-part whetstone. The darker gray is the rougher side, and the lighter gray is finer. The darker side is what you start with to really reshape a flattened part of the blade, and then the lighter gray is a finer grit and puts a better edge on your knife. Now, the type of blade that you want on a knife is very different than you want on something like a hatchet, because a knife you want to be able to split hairs with, but if your axe is that sharp, it's not going to last very long as you try and cut down a tree. So we're going to be talking some about angles, and as I'm going forward talking about angles, please don't anyone go and grab your protractor from algebra class way back whenever. For my case, that's the 1900s, and you have your protractor, and this is what we call an amateur tractor. I saw it on Facebook the other day. I thought it was a pretty funny protractor, amateur tractor. All right, hopefully you all can hear this well and enjoy the dad jokes. So you have the whetstone. After that, I went to a plastic thing. It was called a diamond blade sharpener, and it had woven metal over the whetstone. I'm not able to find mine. I don't know where I lost it. Maybe moving 3 times does that to your stuff. But after using that, I found these things. And this one actually has 2 different angles. And you can see this one is a white ceramic, where this is an actual whetstone. And the white ceramic is generally a harder ceramic that's, again, for putting that fine edge on. These 2 things, if you're just sharpening up your kitchen knives, they're great for that, not serrated knives, your flat, straight blade knives. But I spent hours, as all us scouts did back then, just sharpening our knife back and forth, back and forth, back and forth. And now that I'm an adult, I watch a few more YouTubes. YouTubes weren't around in the 1900s. Gee, am I showing my age yet? What I found is we have these rods, which you can just do this with. And I saw people in the meat department doing it. And I watched a bunch of videos on it, and they convinced me, okay, this is a good way to go and put the edge on your blade. And the other thing about using this is whether you're using the sharpening stone or something like the Spyderco ceramic that I got a year and a half ago as a birthday present. I have to figure out which angle's which. These things go and actually remove the extra metal off of your blade, where using a rod like this just helps reshape your blade. So I was watching the Meat Butcher brothers, two big burly guys, bushy beards that own a meat processing place, and they were showing how they go and use these on a weekly basis, and then they use the whetstone about once a week, and their average knife like this after 6 months will only be about this long. They take that much off because they use their blades that much, and I'm like, holy cow. So when you start off sharpening your knife with the Spyderco, and it's actually the second ceramic one I've used, always remember to put the hand guards in there. Maybe. Pull out my pocket knife real quick. So what you do is you bring the blade, you just hold it straight up and down, and because the ceramic's there, it's at a constant 40-degree angle, which is a decent angle for any sort of everyday pocket knife. And then when you change it around and you go with the white ceramic for a much nicer angle and much nicer edge, it's at 30 degrees. And that's how you get the really sharp edge on your knife, which goes and cuts it. Now you may see some dark lines on here. Those build up, and what that is metal shavings off of your knife being transferred to the ceramic as it sharpens. That doesn't happen here. The other thing you may notice on my knife is that it's not real pointy on the end. Yes, I broke my tip somewhere, I'm not sure where, but showing my amateur tractor, you can see that that's pretty close to a 30-degree angle. So, alright, enough of the jokes with that. The other thing when it comes to processing, you have a bunch of different knives, and they're different shapes for different purposes. So before you think I've been doing this for years and years, I've only been really comfortable doing anything besides paying attention to the knife as I sharpen it for maybe 2 months. What I did after watching all the YouTube videos was a bunch of 5-minute spurts of paying attention and making sure I had my angle right. And after an hour and a half, 2 hours of doing this on a regular basis, I was able to watch a YouTube or something else while doing this. So hopefully you can see that nick is not as bold as it used to be. The other thing about these, the rods up and down, you can see how it's just a bunch of little metal bumps and grooves going back and forth. They come in different widths and thicknesses, and that apparently makes a difference. I don't know enough on that. Go out, find your YouTubes, maybe talk to a professional. But the thing about this, while having it at a steep 30-degree angle, is you want to run the knife blade from the base the whole way to the point. And you do not want to cut your hand while you're doing this. So I know we're playing with chainsaws on the farm, we're playing with knives. Isn't this cool? All right, so start off slow, practice. I'm right here about the 10-minute mark, and that is definitely, there it is, reduced from what it was initially. I'll probably do this another 20-30 strokes, but as I said in the beginning, because YouTube requires it, please like, share, comment, subscribe, all that fun stuff. And if you want to see more educational videos like this, yes, it's 10 minutes, it's missing my 5-minute mark, let me know. I need that feedback while I'm new to know what direction to go with the channel. All right, have a wonderful day.